Welcome to Fresh Movie Recaps. Today, we are going to recap a 2024 movie called Rebel Ridge. The film follows Terry, a former Marine, as he heads to Shelby Springs to bail out his cousin Mike, who's been jailed for a minor drug possession charge. The movie opens with Terry riding a bike, pursued by a police car. The car hits him, causing him to fall and suffer minor injuries. Officers Steve and Evan handcuff him, explaining they've been chasing him for 2 miles with their sirens on the entire time, but he never stopped. They confiscate the $30,000 Terry is carrying, suspecting it's drug money, but Terry explains it's meant for his brother's bail. Terry goes to the county courthouse and meets Summer, a clerk who explains that the seizure is called civil asset forfeiture, a tool intended to combat cartels but often misused. She reveals that the police chief uses the proceeds to boost the department's discretionary fund. Summer also warns that challenging the forfeiture would cost Terry more than the money seized. She notes something suspicious about Mike's bail, which seems unusually high for the charge. Terry, worried about his cousin's safety as a key witness in a dangerous gang case, feels pressured to act quickly. Knowing his cousin won't survive long behind bars, Terry contacts Mr. Lee, a restaurant owner, asking for a $10,000 wire to cover the bail. Terry then tries to report the cash seizure to the Shelby Springs Police Department, but Chief Sandy accuses him of harassing the officers. Unwilling to leave without his money, Terry proposes a deal. The police can keep $26,000, and he just takes $10,000 to bail out Mike. Sandy considers it, but refuses. When Terry calls Mr. Lee again, things escalated. The police raided Lee's restaurant, took his safe, and even bringing sniffer dogs. He is furious for Terry dragging his business into the mess. Terry returns to Summer, who reveals that cases with unusually high bail have mysteriously been delayed. She suggests he push for a court order to get Mike out, but time is running out. Chief Sandy discovers Terry's background as a Marine Corps martial arts program instructor. But before acting, Terry confronts him at the station. Annoyed by Terry's earlier offer, Sandy soon realizes Terry is no ordinary man. He trained the 6th Marine Regiment. Terry disarms an officer and takes over the station, leaving with $10,000 for Mike's bail. Officer Jessica helps Terry escape, but after posting bail, he's caught and thrown into an old prison called the Catacombs. Officer Evan drives him to Chief Sandy, who claims the cash at the station is legally seized. Though skeptical, Terry agrees to a deal where Sandy returns the money and buys him a truck. However, at the medical center, Sandy reveals that Mike was stabbed in prison, and despite Sandy's offer to cover it up, Terry's cousin dies. The next day, Summer drives Terry out of town, giving him files that show Mike and other inmates had been jailed for 90 days despite minor charges. Suspecting corruption, Summer warns Terry, but he's too grief-stricken to care. That night, Summer realizes someone broke into her house and drugged her. She calls Terry for help but refuses to go to the hospital, fearing it would jeopardize her custody of her daughter. As Terry tries to leave town, Officer Steve attacks him, but Terry escapes. He meets Summer at Mr. Lee's restaurant, where Lee treats Terry's gunshot wound. Furious that Sandy's men tried to kill him, Terry vows revenge. Together, they break into a judge's house and uncover that Sandy, after losing a lawsuit years ago over a wrongful death, turned to civil asset forfeitures to fund the town, keeping key players in his pocket. They discover incriminating dashcam footage is stored on hard drives at the courthouse. Terry decides to burn the place down, while Summer goes back to collect the drug sample injected into her. Summer is caught by the police, and Terry, desperate to save her, follows the squad car. He crashes into the vehicle, but before acting further, Sandy contacts him, offering to exchange Summer for the SD cards. But Terry has other plans. He leads the cops on a diversion, but is actually outside the police station, using his truck to break into the property cage. He shoots Sandy with a non-lethal round, but Officer Jessica intervenes, and Terry mistakenly assumes she is Serpico. Confused, Jessica doesn't understand what he means. Terry decides to take everything in the property cage and promises to surrender to the state police once Summer is safe. As the cops arrive outside, Jessica arrests Terry at gunpoint, and it's then that he realizes she's not Serpico. Meanwhile, Steve destroys the SD cards and taunts Terry, revealing he drugged Summer again. Just as Steve is about to shoot Terry, Evan steps in. Before things escalate, Sandy shoots Evan in the leg. Jessica wants to call for help, but Sandy orders her to wait. Terry seizes the moment to drag Evan to the car where Summer is, as Sandy and the cops open fire. Terry defends them with grenades, and Evan tells him to activate the car's disco lights, which trigger the dashcam with pre-event recording, capturing Sandy's actions on camera. Following Evan's advice, Terry overpowers the cops, beats Steve badly, and hits the lights to activate the dashcam. He then provides first aid to Summer and drives away, but Steve clings to the car until Summer pushes him off. Evan informs Terry that the chief's shooting was captured on camera, but the recording must be preserved. Sandy tries to stop them from crossing state lines, making it a federal case. Jessica crashes into Sandy's car, clearing a path for Terry. Surrounded by state police, Terry escapes Shelby Springs, while Jessica demands Sandy's peaceful surrender. Terry retrieves the DVR. With the state police involved, the dashcam footage is crucial for exposing the town's corruption, and Terry, though injured, has exposed the corrupt system and avenged his cousin's death.